So I'm Oliver Taza. I train here at Renzo Gracie Academy. So my background is Middle Eastern. I grew up in Saudi Arabia for about 13 years, and then I came down to Montreal. So training for me started at TriStar Gym in Montreal. So that's when I heard about George St. Pierre, trains at TriStar Gym, and that's when I started mixed martial arts. I didn't really know which one I wanted to do. So I tried pretty much everything. I tried boxing, wrestling, did groundwork, I did some Muay Thai, and then after a year of boxing, I figured out that it's not something I could do for a very long time competitively due to hits to the head. If I wanted to be, I mean, some people are affected differently by hits to the head. Me personally, it was, I don't know if I just sucked at boxing or if it was just my head, but I couldn't take punches that much. So I switched to grappling, and that's what led me to be here at Renzo's right now, preparing for ADCC. The only thing that changes every day is the training itself. You know, like the rounds, what we're doing, the drilling. If I roll with one person or the other, from day to day, that's the only thing that changes. The rest is everything pretty similar. Man, other than, of course, there's jiu-jitsu techniques, there's all the amazing details that he teaches, but there are other things that he doesn't talk about, but you just see it from what he does. Like, for example, loyalty. He's been with Renzo's his whole life. He's been in New York his whole life, and he has a million reasons to leave. He doesn't leave. You know what I mean? And then he doesn't talk a lot about what he does. You know, he notice how everybody's noticing what he does, but he never really talks about it. He gives credit to other people. So those are things that you can kind of pick up from him. Also, his work ethic. You know, he won't sleep. He'll go corner somebody the next day, 7:30 a.m. He's here. Meanwhile, somebody who slept 8 hours wakes up a little sore, he'll stay home. So things like that, and you can see it translate to some of the students. You can see the work ethic. You can see, you can see them helping others. You know, some of them talk a lot. Obviously, some of our teammates. Some of them are humble. You don't hear them talk too much. So, you know, that's the things I feel like John taught us the most. Definitely loyalty. Like, I don't think I'll ever switch teams no matter what happens. You know, like even, nothing's perfect. There are things you like and you don't like in a place, but I don't think it'll ever be to the point where I'll want to switch or leave these guys. For sure. Comes from John, obviously, and also from TriStar, from Faraz. You know, you stick with your lineage. For us, that one thing he taught me the most that I like about him is, as an MMA coach, the level that he has in each discipline that he does. It's just, I haven't encountered many MMA coaches, so I can't really say if they're good, they're not good. But I know for us, the only one that I've been around, I'll see his striking. He'll be striking with the strikers. He'll be grappling with the grapplers, wrestling. So that's one thing I picked up from him. The other thing I picked up from him, that obviously aside from the training, is like training intelligently. You know, you see him really pick his rounds, be careful who he rolls with, train safely, and also he's into longevity. You know, he talks about like training for a long time, being safe, taking care of your joints, things like that. Now, I didn't really pay attention to that until I got injured, but then after that, you kind of like, oh, okay, he was right. I should maybe do this, do that. So these are things, I picked up from my coaches mostly. Yeah, I've used jiu-jitsu, not physically though. I'll use it like, of course, sometimes you'll bump into somebody. I remember once, there's that one time, that's the closest I've ever gotten to using it. I was in Germany in a train, going to teach a seminar, and I don't know what was the deal with him. Literally bumps into me, looks at me, and like starts to speak in German, and I didn't really understand what he was saying. And I was fully fit. I could have easily started something with him. You know what I mean? Just decided to let it go. So I think you can use it. You can use it without necessarily using it physically. You can kind of use it mentally. Kind of okay, whatever. Boom. He bumps, move. Move whatever. It's not worth it. Never really got in a street fight. Never really got into physical altercation outside the gym, and I don't think I'll ever, to be honest. I think the platform of submission only that Polaris are coming up with is very good. It's smart what they're doing, I find. Why? Because what they're doing, they're giving exposure to some of their athletes who are legit. Like everywhere you go in the world, you're gonna find guys in a gym that is tough. You'll go roll in the gym, you'll always find that one guy who's really good, nobody has heard of him. They're doing a good job of giving these guys exposure, you know what I mean? Letting these guys compete against guys from other places in the world, and you know, give them a chance to, you know, make some money out of it, make a living from it. Everybody wants to be able to make a living from something they love doing, right? So I think that's really good. The format is really good. They choose, I find, for the most part, the right people to put on the show, because you can't really always blame the rule set. Sometimes it's the grappler himself the problem. And we also have a lot of plans, from what I understand. Polaris want to expand to other places. We're trying to bring it up to Canada and do the same. And then Canada will be interesting. Why? Because it's super close to, if you go West Coast, California, you go East Coast, New York, Florida. So I think as a platform, it's gonna like snowball effect. People are gonna get into it, and it's just, in my opinion, it's, personally, I find it more fun. You know what I mean? No gi, submission only, going for submissions. You'll find very entertaining gi matches. But for the most part, the grapplers themselves that do one style or the other are more oriented towards taking risks. Right? That's about it. I think it's good. It's a great platform. I think for the sport, it's a great thing, because it's not only focusing on the same guys. You know what I mean? The difference between those big promotions, that they'll get big guys, and then what they're doing, they're signing exclusive deals. Oh, you can only compete with us. I think that's a little bit selfish, because they're thinking about them rather than thinking of growing the sport. You know what I mean? Oh, let me sign you so you can only compete with me. What are you doing? You know what I mean? People from that area, maybe they haven't heard of you. They'll hear of you. Oh, come down, teach, you know, it spreads. So I think it's good for the sport. You know, they're not doing these contracts also with UFC Fight Pass. That's big, man. Yeah, it just takes it to another level. People, let's say somebody on the couch, man, has nothing to do, sees Polaris, sees, like, you click on Jake, how many MMA fights he has? You see Polaris. Boom. Now, oh, Jiu-Jitsu looks cool, let me give it a try, I don't have to get in the head. Things like that. That could help. I didn't start the right way. I think I started with the wrong mindset. I wanted to really learn everything, know everything. Because I was also good at what I was good. I knew what I was doing in soccer. And I'm not saying it's easier or harder, but there's a lot less thinking going on in soccer, for example. You know what I mean? Yeah, obviously you gotta know where you are, where your teammates are, you gotta, how much time left we're up on. There are things you gotta think of. Not nearly as much, oh, this guy just grabbed my wrist, I gotta peel, get my foot out, turn my hip, boom, boom. It's like always thinking. So for me, it was kind of like, man, it's a different kind of, like I was rolling with some of the guys today, like I roll with Nicky 2 rounds, and he has really good passing. So every time he do something, I have to switch. He grab, I gotta peel. He stuff my knee, I gotta turn. Otherwise, you get passed, you know what I mean? So definitely, I find it a more engaging activity itself. So yeah, man, definitely think it's a good thing to have it on UFC Fight Pass as well. So here's one thing that I've been playing around with a lot. So again, there's points in the competition we're gonna do, so I'm not looking to change my whole game, but I'm looking to change a couple of things. So one of the things I'm trying to change is, instead of relying on a certain submission, use the threat of submission to get something else. Alright, so everybody knows single leg X. Everybody knows the X lifting, getting into the saddle. Alright, so we're gonna do that. But there's a thing that I like to do with it, so just get on the knees. So from here, I'm just gonna lift him into single leg X. Alright, let's say he has his hands here, head comes to the inside. I'm gonna pull him in into the single leg X. Come back up top, right here. Let's say he stands up here. This position. We all know it, right? So from here, I like to attack the secondary leg. Those are things everybody knows. Yeah, hands come down to the mat, and I'm switching to an X. Now, once I lift him here, and I grab that second leg, I can fall down, and we're both on our butts. Right here. Now it's slippery. Guy is high level. He tries to get out. He escapes. I lose everything. So give me your hand. Come back on top. So one thing that I've been doing with this is I've been using the momentum of him falling when I grab the second leg to come up on top and turn it right into a knee cut. So you come in here right with the underhook. Here, let's turn. You come in right with the underhook and the head position comes right here. Sorry, man. So good. Now from here, the knee is out and the only thing in your way is freeing that foot. and then you end up with the knee cut. So, you know, credit submission, come up past the guard.
Were you doing that to Nicky?
I was trying to do
yeah,
that,
I know.
but he knows I'm trying to do that. Yeah. So, I gotta find a... So what was happening, come back on top. What was happening, because I'm trying to get that second leg, right? But he knows, so he brings this leg up to the ceiling. Yeah, highlights, so it's hard for me to go. So what I'm trying to turn this into, I'm trying to turn it into like a resting scramble. So what I was working on taking this and bumping him overhead. Bumping him, bumping him, bumping him. So we're gonna drop here, and I'm trying to find a way to like turn it into pass or scramble or takedown. Still gotta work on it, I don't know exactly what it's gonna look like, but work on it, we'll see how it goes. Oh man, I need like a solid foundation for my career, you know what I mean? I can't just rely on using my body to train. I'll usually go teach seminars, make money, come back, and then, but that's not like something you can keep doing. You know, you gotta save money, you gotta place it somewhere, you gotta partner up with somebody. A lot of people are looking to, you know, do something with the sport. So, you know, I find it's good if you can get involved in your community as well. The ultimate goal is to help the guys. The opportunities will come to you instead of having to find ways and like find a little job here, find a little job there. That's good. But to really grow and make a living and be comfortable and safe, I think start helping the community around you as close as possible to you, and then grow from there. And that's what I've been doing, trying to find ways to make money. This is why we started Scramble Canada. You know, start with Montreal, provinces nearby, and then try to East Coast, West Coast, and you know, maybe spread it down to you. It's already in the US, but that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to start small and then expand slowly. There's something interesting that's happening in Europe is that people are very okay. So when you get something very easy, you take it for granted, right? So a lot of people, a lot of athletes, I even say here, will take it for granted to have John teaching. And like you go to Europe, they hear about one of us going there, gym is full. Poland, I had like guys drive 4 hours to come teach someone. So that's something I really appreciate about the jiu-jitsu in Europe. Guys are super hungry and motivated, man. And if they keep that mentality up, man, they'll probably go beyond anybody else, you know what I mean? It's that drive to keep learning and always seek knowledge. See, even once I remember teaching a seminar at the same gym in like 3 months, I tell them, listen man, like, you know, I haven't been to New York that often, like, it's like, whatever, come, whatever, we'll review. So it's just like sharpen up. Yeah man, I like the way they look at it. You know what I mean? Yeah, they appreciate it a lot. It was jiu-jitsu the first class I tried. We did butterfly sweeps. Really liked it. I had no idea what I was doing, but it's still fun. Right? Getting choked, it's cool man. Very helpful, very beneficial teaching. You know, obviously for a competitor, it's a good way to make money, but it's also a good way to understand a bit better what you're doing. And what's more interesting is like the difference between seminars and classes. If you're teaching at an academy every day, you're teaching your students, so to speak. So you gotta kind of see what they need, rather than like in seminars, you're teaching what you know best. You know what I mean? So it's good, man. It's good. Teaching at an academy is nice. You get to adapt. You get to see them get better. It's something, yeah, I enjoy doing for sure. If I had to choose, I definitely choose teaching at an academy. I enjoy way more than seminars, for sure. Yeah, I get pretty nervous when I'm training here. So yeah, like on Sunday we have the whole mats, and then you know it's gonna go down, man. Like you have Gordon, Nick. You saw what it looked like, man. And that's pretty nerve-wracking. And I don't know, and it's just a mix between like hesitating just for the leg and just staying in that routine. The routine, like I feel like I'm really improving every day, instead of like getting a flight, finding a way to get the competition, wait, do this, that close to the competition. For me, I think those couple of days will make a difference. You know what I mean? I do believe every day is making new adjustments, little things, developing kind of a new style for ADCC. You know what I mean? Like instead of looking for submissions, falling back on leg locks, or you know, just playing without taking risks. not thinking points. It's a different style than when you gotta come up or you can't pull guard, you gotta defend the legs. It's like a single leg, instead of sprawling, going to the back, usually we'd roll to the legs or take a kimura, slip out, whatever. You can't do that in ADCC, so these little adjustments are happening every day, and I feel like 1 or 2 days we miss out, we'll fall behind. The other thing that translates, I feel, is like I was used to training a lot. Like I was used to 2 sessions a day. I was used to going to the gym. I was used to having injuries. You know, I was used to like, oh, weekend, can't do much. I have a game the next day. So these things I already are used to. You know what I mean? Being an athlete and you know, sacrificing things.
Yeah.
So yeah, those things I was kind of used to it already. So it was oh, there's also the aspect of, you know, team sport versus individual sport. You know, soccer sometimes, you know, the guy has the ball, takes a shot, teammates complaining, I was open. There's none of that in Jiu-Jitsu. You train with the guys, you're competing, you're on your own, man. You got no one else to blame. You know what I mean? Maybe an advantage here, an advantage there, but mainly it's your fault. Like I was saying, the difference between team sport and individual sport. So I'll give the same example. In soccer, for example, you're about to score a goal, you pass the ball, the guy shoots, skyrockets it, nowhere near the goal. The guy's complaining, teammate, oh, why you didn't give it to me, I could have, you know what I mean? So, Jiu-Jitsu, you screw something up, it's your responsibility, right? So, that's what I find it benefits in life also, is that you gotta take responsibility for things, you know what I mean? I'm not saying we're all perfect, we don't all do it. Myself, you know, sometimes I complain, I'm salty about things that I should take more responsibility for, but that's good. At least you realize it. You start working on it. You know what I mean? So I think martial arts in general is a good, or any other individual sport, but martial arts also, it's good because you're also fighting.